Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. Interesting to see that Netflix have delivered us a new Carry On film for the festive season. It's not quite what you might be expecting. Hello, welcome back. My name is Paul Mount. Yeah, there's a new Carry On film on Netflix. A lot of British critics have been quite boring and all based their reviews and comments on the film of, oh, Carry On films, Matron, Kenneth Williams, Sid James, Barbara Windsor, oops, rather than actually talking about the film. And I think they're trying to make the point that British audience is going to be baffled by this because they're going to see this title on Netflix, not understand why it's not a Carry On film. Seriously, critics, British public's not that stupid. I think we know that this isn't a carry-on film, and I think we know that carry-on is an expression used in America to describe luggage which is taken onto a plane, carried onto a plane. We call it hand luggage over here. I don't think hand luggage would be a very alluring title for a film. Carry-on probably isn't either, possibly because we all think of Sid James and Kenneth Williams and Frankie Howard and so on, but this quite clearly isn't a carry-on film. So boo hiss to the critics out there who are just having fun talking about carry-on films because they can't be bothered to talk about a new film properly. Anyway, this has arrived on Netflix. It's a Christmas-themed action film, but I don't think, like Die Hard from the 80s, I don't think this is going to be a recognised minor Christmas classic film, whether you regard Die Hard as a Christmas film or not. Personally, I couldn't care less. Some people think it is, some people think it isn't. If a film's set at Christmas, I suppose it's a Christmas film. But this is quite an interesting thriller. I was going to call it an action film, but it isn't actually a massively action-packed film. But it's quite interesting, it's quite tense, it's got a couple of decent action scenes, having said that. It stars Taron Egerton, who I think is a very agreeable screen presence, who isn't yet the star that I think he should be. I know he did the Elton John film, and he's done the Kingsman films, but I think he's still waiting for that big film that really propels him into the limelight. But it's an interesting setup. It's Christmas, we're in Los Angeles International Airport, and Ethan Kopech is played by Taron Egerton. Ethan is a TSA, that's a Transportation Security Administration Officer to you, but he's become a bit cynical, he's a bit unambitious, his plans to sort of rise up through the ranks seem to be thwarted, and he feels that he's going nowhere. His father's criminal history has been a bit of a stumbling block in his career progression, but it's Christmas Eve, his pregnant girlfriend Nora encourages him to reapply for a promotion to pursue that dream that he's got. Ethan doesn't do this. Instead, he goes to see his supervisor, Phil, played by Dean Norris, we remember from Breaking Bad. And Phil assigns him a post at a baggage scanning lane. Ethan hopes that this will demonstrate that he is worth promoting, and he is a hard worker, and he's got potential. Unfortunately, during his shift, Ethan receives an earbud, and he's contacted by a ruthless mercenary. We all know him only as the Traveller. He's played by the brilliant Jason Bateman. He orders Ethan to allow a specific item of carry on, see, that's where the title comes from, to pass through the scanner. If he doesn't, Nora will be killed. Nora also works at the airport, and she's under surveillance by a hitman who's hidden away in a converted plumbing van, which is hidden out in the car park. Ethan quite rightly realises that there's obviously something not right about this carry-on luggage, and he tries to contact his workmates and his supervisors to try and find a way around the situation, but the Traveller is watching and listening to his every move and thwarts his every step. This is an interesting film with an interesting setup. It's a bit slow to get started, I would say. The first hour is a lot of setup. Set up the characters quite well, so you're interested in Ethan, you're interested in his situation, and you like the guy. But it does take a while for things to start happening. And it's not until the police start to get involved and the situation starts to ratchet up a little bit that it becomes more of an action film. There is, in fact, no action in the first hour. It's very much build-up and dialogue and intrigue and building up the situation and the threat. And there are two really good action set pieces. One is when Lena Cole, the police officer who suddenly got involved in the situation, played by Daniela Denweiler, she's in a car and she realises that the FBI agent that she's with isn't actually who she thinks she is. There's a really good, well-mounted car sequence. I suspect a lot of this is done with the volume environment thing around them because it's actually very cleverly done, and it's filmed inside the car. Once he realises she knows who he is, he tries to throttle her, and the car is veering out of control and smashing across the freeway, and cars are going right, left and centre. It's all done from inside the car. I don't think there were many exterior scenes, and it's quite well done because it's claustrophobic, cars upside down, they're fighting and grappling, and that's an unusual way to do that sort of sequence. I also like the sequence later on where the piece of carry-on is on a conveyor belt making its way into the plane. Ethan is trying to get it, he's being followed by somebody who's trying to stop him getting it. There's a really nice sort of fight scene and jumping around the conveyor belt and dropping between different levels in this unmanned facility. It's a really nice sequence, and there's a sort of a gunfight and a punch-up, and that's quite nicely done. And then it moves on to the final act, which is on the plane. The traveller is on the plane. The carry-on is on the plane. Ethan knows it's on the plane. He has, for various reasons early on in the story, deactivated this device that's basically it's a Novichok bomb, which is going to blow up the plane and send this poison out through the airport, killing thousands of people at Christmas. Nice. So the race against time, he goes down into the hold where the carry-on is based. The traveller's on the plane. He knows that Ethan's there. They have a little tussle, and it's a sort of a race against time, a countdown type thing before the bomb can go off. And it all comes to a satisfying conclusion. It's a 2-hour film, and again, with these Netflix or straight to streaming films, you can often see why they don't go into the cinema because they're not quite big enough. This is a loud, leery, well-made film, but it isn't big screen material. It doesn't have that extra oomph that big action films do. As I said, the first hour is quite slow paced, character based, building the situation, building the drama, building the threat, and then things happen in the second half. But what happens in the second half isn't big cinematic stuff. It is quite small scale. Impressive it is, but I think if you paid good money to see this in the cinema, you might feel a bit shortchanged. It's well worth watching on your TV, on streaming, because it has a certain scale to it, and it's exciting, and it's got a bit of festive glitz to it here and there, and it's a nice vehicle for Taron Egerton, who's giving it his all, and it's nice because it gives him character moments and it gives him some action moments. So don't go into this expecting a massive Christmas classic or an action classic. It is very much what it is, a mid-budget streaming movie with some good performances, a good cast. I mean, I like Taron Egerton, I like Dean Norris, I particularly like Jason Bateman. He's always good value, and he's quite malevolent in this. He's quite ruthless and determined, and it's interesting because he usually plays quite affable tappies, but here he's quite dark and dangerous, and it's worth a look. If you're looking for something entertaining, action-packed and new over Christmas, then recommended. Carry On is on Netflix right now, and I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for Carry On. And I do apologise on behalf of everybody that it's not another Carry On film. Nothing I can do about that. Right, let me know if you've watched Carry On, if you've had a look at it and what you thought of it. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, 70% of you are watching videos and not subscribing. You might as well press the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it's good for the channel. So press that button, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you thought of Carry On. Right, thank you for watching. I will see you soon. Until I do, keep taking the stuff.